You all are watching.
What up? It is Cole Radjic, the Ratty Daddy, and you're watching Cole TV. Let's go.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to Pro Wrestling 60, where we cover everything that happened in the world of professional wrestling in 60 minutes. I'm XLJ, the OG, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother. Okay. And he just stayed at his cousin Lucha B-Roll's house for Triple Mania in Tijuana, Mr. B-Roll.
That is right. The world-traveled Mr. B-Roll. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I feel like it's like, my gosh, it's such an overload. There is so much that happened this week in the world of professional wrestling. I mean, Saturday alone was nuts. You had, what, 4 different events going on all across the globe. And we're going to cover them all here on PW60. So, Mr. B-Roll, I think it's like you say.
The clock starts now.
There we go. And we got our top story of the week to kick us off here. It was announced this past week on Dynamite who the 5th and remaining members were going to be for the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. And to start it off first, a little bit of a surprise, Mr. B-Roll. I honestly completely spaced and didn't even think about it, but it makes absolute perfect sense. The Bastard Pac has returned and is going to be the 5th member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Boy, oh boy, he fits in perfectly with those guys, doesn't he, Mr. B-Roll?
Yes, he does. I had been, sitting there thinking recently, like, where's Pac? Where's Pac? Where's Pac?
Well, now we know he's going to be at Blood and Guts in Boston. But, Mr. B-Roll, it's exciting. As great it was to see Pac back. Let's talk about it. We've been hyping it up. We've been talking about this for, I feel like, months. Even on this show, we got our wish is going to come true. The Golden Star himself, Kota Ibushi, is the 5th member of the Elite. We are getting the Golden Elite against the Blackpool Combat Club. Oh my gosh, how excited are you for this, my friend?
This is gonna be
I
can't even describe how
excited just to see Ibushi, number one. Excited to see him teaming up with the Elite again, because my God, it feels like it's been years. That hype package alone for Ibushi was fucking great too, by the way. I loved it. And then the whole stuff, like Pac fits in perfectly, not only with the BCC, but for this matchup, his rivalry with Kenny. It's like they couldn't have asked for a better substitute for Bryan Danielson than Pac.
This is true. And he looks phenomenal as well. Like he looked jacked. Yeah.
My gosh. But man, oh man, Blood and Guts this upcoming Wednesday on Dynamite. This may be, I would arguably say there's been some good ones, but I think this may be the best Blood and Guts yet, honestly. Like this match is going to be freaking nuts, and I'm here for it, and I cannot wait. But Mr. B-Roll, did you know there was, as this may not come to a surprise to some, but there was a lot of thought process put into who the 5th member would be for this Blood and Guts matchup. And just so happens, our good friend Best Gout has a little inside scoop on what could have been. So check this out.
The world was on edge, wondering who was going to be the mystery 5th man for the Elite at Blood and Guts. And for some of us, it was an obvious answer. But could you believe that Kota Ibushi was not the first choice? Here's a few that were thrown out there. Rumor has it they were going to bury the hatchet and have former 2-time AEW World Champion CM Punk. Also, I heard word that AEW Dark legend Luther was going to be the 5th guy. He was once in a Royal Rumble, the Portuguese Man of War Aldo Montoya. Zeus from the movie No Holds Barred. He whooped Hulk Hogan's ass. the sexual dynamo himself, Mr. B-Roll, Dante Hicks from Clerks 2, a melted G.I. Joe, and also, total shocker, country music legend could have been there, and it was Reba McEntire. But in the end, it was the golden lover himself, Kota Ibushi. And we were wondering, why the hell wasn't he there when they announced him? Could he not get into Canada? Well, truth is, he did make his way into Canada, but unfortunately, no one could find him at the airport. I will know. I was sent to get him. Oh, Kota. Oh, Kota. Oh, wherever art thou, Kota. Kota. Where the hell are you? Oh, hey, what's up? Shania Twain! The hell are you doing here? Oh, yeah, you're Canadian. Do you like poutine? Is it really called Regina? Do they pronounce it Vagina?
I didn't know you were in consideration, bro. You think you know somebody. I guess it was an obligation thing. You just couldn't be there, right?
Yeah, we gotta be here to record PW60. Gotta be in one piece.
That's right. We need you in one piece. Well, we appreciate you making the commitment to Pro Wrestling 60. Well, hey, let's talk about Collision from this past Saturday. And Mr. B-Roll, this was a loaded show. And a loaded show, and which is crazy. There was only 4 matches on this show. But we got to see the finals of the Owen Hart tournament in the men's and female side. You get to see the House of Black in action. But Mr. B-Roll, can we talk about the insanely fucking awesome match between FTR and the Bullet Club Gold for the AEW Tag Titles and 2 out of 3 Falls match? This is an all-time fucking classic. This may very well be giving a lot of other matches run for their money for match of the year, in my opinion. Like, this match freaking over-delivered and then some. What did you make of this incredible encounter that, by the way, went over an hour on television, which is saying something?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with over-delivered. Because I even said to myself, why would you challenge FTR to a 2 out of 3 falls match? Like, I feel like that was. But man, they freaking delivered as a tag team.
Yeah, and I got to say, the tag team tandem of Juice Robinson and Jay White come out of this looking like $1 million. As great as FTR is, they have to have some great dance partners. Both those guys are incredible in singles, but man, oh man, as a tag team, holy shit. And I was just so happy, too, for Jay White to get a match like this, because, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Ever since he left New Japan, it's just felt really kind of underwhelming. But I honestly think...
Finally!
Yes, finally! But I honestly think, like, with him being on Collision, the way they're booking it, I think, like, this is finally where Jay White needs to be. And it's making, to me, honestly, it's making Collision the more... They're both great shows to watch. And I don't want to say, like, one's better than the other, but I do love watching me some Collision. It's just a different vibe. And it's just a great show overall. And, like, Collision knocked it out of the park. But this was definitely had to be our match of the week.
I don't think there was any backstage segments.
Yeah, and there rarely is any on Collision too, which is something I love. I think they did have the Andrade interview, but that was kind of like intertwined into the matchup with the House of Black. But still, though, man, like I'm telling you, Collision was running on all cylinders, and the fact that we're talking about them and how great that was, and considering all the other action that took place this past Saturday, it just says something.
Yeah, it was literally like, we don't give a crap what else is going on. Like,
all your eyes is going to be on us.
This was the match to watch Saturday night. With all of the wrestling going on, this was the match to watch.
Yeah. And we also, like we said, got to see the finals of the men and women's Owen Hart tournament. And Mr. B-Roll, I got to say, I am surprised with the victors, but it is a pleasant surprise. As Willow Nightingale won the women's tournament, which I marked the fuck out for. And then Ricky Starks wins the men's.
Yeah.
How surprised were you with the outcome of both these matches?
Yeah, I was surprised, definitely, that because I think the consensus was everybody thought Ruby was going to win, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
consensus was that everybody thought CM Punk was going to win. I was even more surprised when they basically like double dipped and doubled down on both of them, but looks looks to me like a great way to build up some young talent.
No kidding, right? Like, and I mean, two people couldn't deserve it more than Willow and Ricky Starks, man. Like, I'm just so happy for both of them, and obviously that's going to make them our wrestlers of the week. But we got to talk a little bit here about Ricky. Looks like Ricky doing some dastardly deeds to get things done, grabbing the ropes there. And then how about that confrontation there at the end, like where he just pretty much pushed off Juice and Thunder Liger and wanted the trophy?
I don't even know.
I know this. Ricky Starks is absolute. You can bank on that. Well, that wasn't the only thing, as we mentioned. Saturday was a loaded day and night of professional wrestling action, and Impact Wrestling brought it with their Slammiversary show, and this was a loaded card. We talked about this a lot last week on our prediction show, as well as like on Learning the Ropes. Man, Slammiversary was a night full of awesome action. You kicked it off with the Ultimate X. I gotta say, like, I didn't do too great on the predictions here, but there was a lot of pleasant surprises on this.
Yeah, yeah. Can I just tell you the theme of what this night was?
Yeah.
Next slide, please. And new.
Yeah, we crowned 5 new champions out of 6 championship matches. So we crowned new Knockouts tag team champions as Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly did defeat the Coven. Kenny King defeated Joe Hendry for the Digital Media Championship, which I think bullshit. Just saying. Um, unless they do something big with Joe Hendry, which that's what I'm hoping. But like, no disrespect to Kenny King, but it's just kind of like, yeah. Subculture ended up winning the tag team titles. A little surprised with that one.
I was okay with it though.
Yeah. I was yeah, I was fine with it. I think it's great. I love that tag team. So like that once again a pleasant surprise. Leo Rush winning the X Division title. Not surprised he won, but surprised in the fashion he won because that was a squash, man.
Yeah.
Like
I am surprised that there is no official graphic for him as all the others.
yeah, it is kind of weird, isn't it?
It does not exist. I scoured the internet. It does not exist.
Yeah, well, little tainted, but you see her there too. Trinity is your new Knockouts champion. She defeated Deonna Purrazzo in an all-time classic. We talked about this before. That could have easily been like a match of the week candidate, but you just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, Trinity and Deonna. But an incredible matchup, and I would say probably that was the best matchup on the whole show.
Agreed.
Which there was some great ones too, and this one kind of surprised me, but in a good way as well, because Alex Shelley is still your Impact World Champion. I am so happy he retained, although I love me some Nick Aldis, but I am so happy that Alex Shelley did end up retaining his Impact title because I think he's got a long reign still left in him. Were you a little surprised that Aldis didn't win?
No, I was hoping, and
I think you may have even said that Shelley was going to win this, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was more so based off of hoping, though. I'll be honest.
Well, it worked, dude. It worked because Alex Shelley is your new, or still the Impact World Champion.
That's why you don't give up on your dreams, kids.
There you go. But Mr. Shelley may have a little bit of competition on his hands because at the end of the night, the walking weapon returned, baby. Josh Alexander is back in Impact Wrestling, and obviously he is back to reclaim what he never lost.
Yep.
That Impact World title.
Kept it short and sweet. I'm back.
And I'm here for it, man. I'm like, God, Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander. Book that now. I can't wait to see that matchup. I would assume it would be at a Bound for Glory or whatever the next Impact like big pay-per-view event is, but that is going to be
Bound
a
for Glory is the
match.
next big one. They do have Emergence, but
I feel like this is such a big matchup. They're going to save it for Bound for Glory, honestly.
Yeah.
But you never know. But man, it was so great seeing Josh Alexander return to Impact Wrestling. But Mr. B-Roll, he wasn't the only one that had returned to Impact Wrestling Saturday night. We saw Jake something looking like $1 million returning in the Ultimate X matchup as a surprise candidate. But there you see him. Showtime Eric Young is back at Impact Wrestling. He was Scott D'Amore's mystery partner, and it was great seeing him in the Team Canada gear. And man, Scott D'Amore looked great too in that matchup against Bully Ray and Diener. And of course, it's great to see Eric Young back from the dead.
Yeah.
Guess you just couldn't get it done, Diener.
Can't kill him.
Yeah.
Okay, bold prediction time.
Yeah.
By Bound for Glory, could we also see a returning Robert Roode?
Oh my, okay. That's a stretch, but if it happened, holy shit, like the world, the internet, the IWC would like just explode. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen because the big thing is with Eric Young, he was under contract with WWE. But apparently they quietly released him, and we hadn't really even seen him on television or anything like that. So I think it worked out for both parties at the end of the day. But man, it's great to see Eric Young back in Impact Wrestling where he should be. But overall, Slammiversary was a fun, solid show, man. You saw a lot of new champions crowned, a lot of surprises, and when you get that in a pay-per-view, man, you know that is money well spent. But as we said before, Mr. B-Roll, this wasn't the only event going on Saturday night. Triple Mania 31, which I guess you were at, in Tijuana, Mexico, took place. And I saw this show myself. Now, I know if you don't follow Triple Mania and Triple A, like in case you don't know, Triple Mania is like the WrestleMania of Triple A wrestling, Lucha Libre. It's interesting how they're doing it this year because they're doing like 3 separate shows. So this was the second of 3 shows. But the big thing with this show was your main event, as it was a rematch. Well, not a rematch per se, but at least as far as in AAA. But Kenny Omega going up against El Hijo del Faikino for the AAA Megas Championship, which his match was supposed to take place a couple years ago. But did not take place due to Kenny being injured. So now kind of finally AAA getting that dream main event matchup. And we saw them go one-on-one, of course, on that Dynamite, which was incredible. I got to be honest with you, Mr. B-Roll. Like, the match was great, but in comparison to the Dynamite match, I don't think it quite lived up to the hype, honestly. It was a great matchup, don't get me wrong. But
Yes.
and it could have been maybe it was just wrestling overload for me personally because by the time I'd seen this, I think I'd watched 4 different shows. So.
Yeah. And as you said, I was able to make it to this event because I stayed with Mr. Lucha B-Roll. But I will say, I did end up passing out because they make the tequila a whole lot stronger down there.
Yeah. You ready for a hot take on this one?
Go for it.
This is what blew my mind. You want to know what match of the night was on this show? The ambulance match with Pentagon against QT Marshall. The best QT Marshall match I've ever seen. I'm not bullshitting you. It was a fucking amazing matchup. Anybody do yourself a favor, go back and honestly, if it wasn't for the FTR match, like probably that would have been our match of the week because it was so damn good. It's very entertaining. It's a bloodbath. It's an awesome matchup. But I highly encourage you to go back, check out Triple Mania because it was a loaded, fun show. And of course, El Viking Del Hijo did retain his Megas Championship. As you can see here, Kenny holding his hand up in victory. But we got to talk about the post show because it got a little interesting at the press conference. This is no joke. So Don Callis was there at Triple Mania, and actually Takeshita was there too, attacking Kenny Omega. But this is Mexico we're talking about, man, and the fans, they take this shit serious. A fan actually jumped and attacked Don Callis. And Don Callis did suffer some injuries. As far as we know, he's okay, but he did have to be rushed to the hospital afterwards. But like I say, they take their wrestling very serious there. And like that, honestly, Mr. Callis, is a job well done if you were able to get that type of interaction. But I do hope he's okay and ready for Dynamite this upcoming Wednesday for Blood and Guts. But man, like Triple Mania, like you say, unfortunately you passed out for it, but it was a pretty damn good show. And also we got to talk about this, man. The G1 Climax kicked off this weekend with nights 1 and 2. I really love how they're doing it this year, B-roll, because there's 4 different blocks. And what's cool about it, I think, is in years past, you would watch some of the block matches, and then like you get some tag team matches as filler at the beginning of the shows. But no, these are all nothing but block matches. Is all you're getting the whole show because there's so many damn like matches to do when you have 32 competitors in this thing. So the and I will say this: do yourself a favor if you got time, go back and check out the press conference for this the G1 climax with all the competitors. It is fascinating. Like I watched it and I got to tell you like it is highly entertaining because like there's some of the highlights just to give you an idea. Like Gabe Kidd from the Bullet Club. Jesus, that kid is so fucking pissed off. He wanted to murder everybody there. Like he fucking jumped and lunged at I'm sorry, Yota Tsuji. I know I always mess his name up, but and he got into it with a couple other guys there as well. That's in his block. I had to like kick him out of the freaking press conference. Um, there's some hilarious stuff with Kenta and El Phantasmo. Oh my god, El Phantasmo like literally told Okada that like he's going to essentially cut off his nipples and like fry them up in a frying pan and feed them to him. That's essentially what he told him. If that tells you anything. Great press conference. You need to check it out. But let's talk about the G1. Night 1 saw action in A block and B block. Gotta say, you saw some upsets too, man. First of all, Yoshihashi defeated El Phantasmo. Chase Owens defeated Gabe Kidd. We had this was probably by far, I think, one of the best matches of the weekend. Honestly, this is not one that could have been contender. Shoto Umano against Rin Narita was a freaking classic. It actually went to a draw, so therefore they only get 1 point apiece because they did go to a draw. But the cool thing about this, Mr. B-Roll, is that they're part of the Three Musketeers, and this was their first real like meeting one-on-one in like a major show like this.
Yeah.
So this match is incredible. I can't stress it enough. If you're going to check out any matchup, at least watch that one. And then we did see Kaita Kiyomoa get the win against Yota Tsuji, which is another great matchup. Now in B block, we ended up seeing Tangaloa defeated Kenta. We saw Kazuchika Okada defeat the Great Okan. And then a big upset, Taichi defeated Will Ospreay in the opening matchup. Huge win for Taichi in his hometown. Fucking great matchup as well. In your main event, Sanada defeated Hikuleo. So, and that was in A block. I did kind of jump around there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
But night 1 was awesome. Night 2, let's talk about that C block and D block action. So you had David Finlay pick up the win against Tomohiro Ishii. This matchup, and I'm probably mixing the blocks up because C and D I kind of, so bear with me on this, folks. Hiroki Goto beat Toru Yano, and Toru Yano is always in these damn things, and it's always just this comedic relief. But oh my god, in this one, it's fucking hilarious. He's like got the mascot of some Japanese and tourism thing. Anyways, long story short, somehow like the mascot's head ended up on Hiroki Goto, and they were beating the shit out of him. It was great. Mikey Nicholas against Aaron Hanari, which, by the way, Aaron Hanari, like, sporting a new look, man. He's a badass. He put Aaron Hanari ended up picking up the win. Alex Coughlin, which, go back to that press conference, Alex Coughlin had one of the most passionate and emotional promos from that press conference, which was amazing. But he ended up defeating Shane Hayes from the Mighty Don't Fall. This was probably the best match of day 2. Eddie Kingston picked up the win against Shingo Takagi. Also, you got to see Zack Sabre Jr. pick up a win against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Evil did defeat Tangaloa, and in the main event of night 2, Jeff Cobb defeated Tetsuya Naito. So G1's already starting off to great success, but trust us, folks, we got a long ways to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go down in the G1. But man, oh man, it kicked off. It was awesome, my friend. And this is crazy. We're like almost halfway into the show, and we're just now getting to Monday Night Raw. If that tells you the type of week it's been here in professional wrestling. But let's talk about Monday Night Raw this past week, which almost seems like a lifetime ago, right?
True story.
Once again, got to see a lot more development with the Judgment Day, which is like, is everything okay? You know, what's going on here? Pretty cool moment with Logan Paul and Ricochet, with Ricochet recreating that infamous moment he had against Adam Cole, baby. Obviously, it looks like we're getting a SummerSlam match between them. Hell of a matchup between Tommaso Ciampa and The Miz. And what about, I almost called him Jonah. Or no, I always get him mixed up. Help me out. I'm an old man.
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. He's always going to be Jonah to me, damn it. Just make it easy for me, WWE. Bronson Reed coming out and causing interference in that matchup. I guess, obviously, because The Miz hired him. But your main event, you got to see the Judgment Day go up against Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. And Mr. B-Roll, there's a little bit of a heated exchange between those factions afterwards, which is pretty interesting that they got into it. But overall, Monday Night Raw was a solid show. But like I say, it just feels like it was a lifetime ago. But yes, there is this epic 6-man encounter to close out the show. Which now I'm hearing it sounds like we're possibly getting Finn and Seth too at SummerSlam, which really surprises me. But I hope we do get it because I'm gonna hope to hear all the more here for it. But like I say, overall, Monday Night Raw, yeah, let's do it. Monday Night Raw was a fun show.
As somebody has said, that Finn should beat Seth at SummerSlam, and then eventually Damian will cash in on Finn.
Yes, this is true. Let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown as we got the storyline sort of kind of progressed a little bit in the Bloodline saga. Not still made official yet, but I mean, all signs are pointing towards it's going to be Jay against Roman, obviously, at SummerSlam for the belt. But we got to see a little bit of progression there. Bianca kind of make a pact with Charlotte there, and then of course Bianca go up against Asuka in the main event. LA Knight's promo was really awesome, and he is so freaking over. It's not even funny. It looks like he may be on a collision course with A-Town Down at SummerSlam, perhaps for the U.S. title. Mr. Beaver, I gotta be honest with you. With all the wrestling going on, I felt like SmackDown was a little underwhelming this week, except for one thing. We gotta talk about this. What a passionate moment this was from Shotzi Blackheart as she cut a promo, essentially cutting her hair off. Now, here's the cool thing with this. There's some significance behind this, folks. Shotzi's, I believe her sister is currently battling cancer. So to show a sign of strength, like her support for her, essentially, you went ahead and did this. So I think it's really cool. It adds to her character. And hair, no hair, she still is an amazing competitor and a very beautiful woman. So yeah, I'm all for it. Like, and hey, I can't wait to see where they go from here with Shotzi. All right, now let's talk about the rest of what happened on Dynamite. Because
this feels like forever ago too.
I know, right? I know. And the crazy thing is, all these stories we're talking about, how huge of a story was it that we finally got to see the debut of Nick Wayne in AEW? And here's an interesting factoid for you. Nick Wayne became the youngest professional wrestler to ever be featured in a main event matchup on network television, as him and Swerve did end up meeting in the main event, which was a great matchup. We got some of the tag team eliminator tournament matches, which this was a surprise. Orange Cassidy and Darby losing a little bit, which surprised me because I honestly thought they were going to win the thing, but they lost to the Jericho Appreciation Society, Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. And of course, the best thing going in AEW right now by far, the MJF Adam Cole tandem advanced to the finals as they defeated Big Bill and Brian Cage. Dude, isn't it amazing? Like, I think this was just kind of put together just to be like kind of fun and see what happens, whatever. Now it's like just turned into this huge, like, great story. I don't want to see them break up, dude. I don't. Yep. I want to see them win the tag titles. I mean,
double clothesline.
That crowd's gonna pop, and the fact that they can get like people to pop over like body slams and just like simplistic, moves, it's just fucking great. I'm here for it, man. But man, oh man, like this past Dynamite was it was another great show. It had a great opener with Chris Jericho defeating Commander, and how about teasing a little bit more like Jericho may join the Don Callis family, showing that rare older footage of when he was in Canada and was part of a faction with Don Callis under the late great Bad News Allen or Bad News Brown.
And Jake Hager gave Chris Jericho his
Oh
hat.
yeah, Jake Haver. I know, man. It's like I don't know, man,
So,
but
and I'm big on semblance and remembering like stupid things. So right before Inner Circle broke up, Sammy Guevara gave Chris Jericho his
oh, the
Inner Circle
jacket.
jacket.
I forgot about that. You're right, dude. Oh man.
I'm not saying anything, but
Oh, I'm okay with it because I think the JAS has like run its course, honestly. So, Jericho's always incredible about recreating himself. So, but we got some more interesting news here in the world of All Elite Wrestling. It came out this week that there was going to be some banned or some changes to some of the rules, which is kind of crazy because the stuff they talked about is like, well, I see this practically every week on Dynamite. Like, you know, but I think what it is they have to seek approval now, is what what was implied. I think if I understood correctly from reading the article.
yeah, that's kind of what I understood because like you read through it and then you watch like the 60-minute 2 out of 3 falls match and you're like, well, that's on the list. Well, that's on the list.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really going to look a whole lot into this honestly, but it did make a lot of headlines this week in the world of professional wrestling. Also making headlines, how about this? It's been discussed that the Discovery is looking to add some more pay-per-views for AEW. Matter of fact, they'd like to see them go to a monthly model like the WWE. Okay, here's my thoughts on that. I am for it as long as it's available to stream on HBO Max or whatever else or whatever they're calling it now. It's streaming. Because I cannot see shelling out $50 a month for a pay-per-view. I did that many, many moons ago. And brother, let me tell you something. The cost of living, we are in a completely different world. So I cannot see people affording and want to spend $50 a month on a pay-per-view.
I would have to agree with you there.
Yeah. But I just have to say, like, I just don't think I don't know. I think they've kind of said this best, honestly, and I believe this is obviously setting up for like streaming. You know, that's what this is going to be. Like they're going to be, I don't know how and what capacity, but it is going to be like in some streaming like service or something. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But Mr. B-roll, you're sniffling over there. I heard you. You have a little something spicy. Well, why don't we go to our good friend Spicy Guac for a spicy take?
What is up? It is your boy Spicy Guac with another spicy moment here to remind you the more titles a company has, the less quality their product is. Need some examples? Impact Wrestling, New Japan Strong, MLW. Great products. Not a lot of titles, even some cups and some tournaments. Awesome. NXT UK. Highly underrated. Fantastic quality. Then you have the big boys, WWE, AEW. Even New Japan at times have dropped the ball because of how many titles they have, and yet they don't book the right people to win these titles, or they just give it to different people. Like, when are they gonna give Dom a shot? Like, why just give him the US title already? He needs it. He just forced.
Should we move on? He ain't wrong, folks. So let's talk about Battle of the Belts because AEW doesn't have nearly enough championships, right? So Battle of the Belts 7 took place this past Saturday night. Total of 3 matchups. We got to see Orange Cassidy successfully defend his title against Lance Archer, even though it was kind of a DQ or whatever. But hey, it is what it is. Toni Storm retained her championship against Taya Valkyrie in an awesome matchup. And in the main event, Luchasaurus retained his championship against Shawn Spears. I don't know, man. Like Spicy makes a good point. Like, do you think there's just too many damn titles in AEW? I mean, I know we got a big roster, but like, I don't know. Like Battle of the Belts for me, and I'm a huge AEW fan. Don't get me wrong, folks, but Battle of the Belts doesn't do shit for me. To me, it seems like I can't recall there being one Battle of the
Yeah.
Belts I've watched yet where I was like, oh, that was amazing. I just
Yeah.
can't. Nothing's
And
coming
it's
to
like
mind.
this was actually like out of Battle of the Belts, this was a better one than some of the other ones. But
Yeah.
it goes back to that previous slide of the more pay-per-views. If you're going to get more pay-per-views, like I think Battle of the Belts should just fade off
Away.
into obscurity.
Yeah, and I also think too, honestly, the roster split would make, which we're kind of seeing. But I mean, it makes perfect sense as far as I'm concerned. But, well, Rampage, of course, took place Friday night as well. As we all know, Willow Nightingale did defeat Athena. But the important thing here is, I think we're going to get a Willow Nightingale Athena matchup for the Ring of Honor Women's title.
I do
And
too.
I am for it, my friend. I think it'll be an awesome matchup. And of course, Lance Archer was back in action, terrorizing people and whatnot. But mainly the big thing takeaway from Rampage was the Willow Nightingale Athena matchup, which was incredible too. So go back and watch that. It was a great matchup. And let's talk about NXT this week, man. Which once again, this is another one that feels like NXT was a lifetime ago. But NXT was a fun show. A lot of stuff going on there with the Judgment Day, man. The Judgment Day is like just working 2 shows now, man. Because we did find out that your new number 1 contender for Carmelo Hayes is going to be Ilya Dragunov, who defeated Braun Breaker, which I thought that was the right call. Dragunov totally deserves a title run, and I'm going to go ahead and say it now, folks. Great American Bash, I think Dragunov defeats Carmelo Hayes, because I think Carmelo's
It could
been called
happen.
up to the Bronx.
What did I text you this week? What did I text you? Do you remember?
It's been so long ago, but I think you said something about like Ilya Dragunov's like your new favorite guy or something.
I said Ilya Dragunov is quickly becoming one of my favorite wrestlers.
That sounds about right, dude. But like we said, Judgment Day was all over the show on Tuesday night, and we did find out this is going to be a fun one. Wes Lee is going to defend that North American Championship against Dom Dom. Wes, buddy, you had a great one. You're a phenomenal wrestler, but I don't know how you're going to be a hardened criminal like Dominic Mysterio, man.
I think Dom Dom's going to send Wes Lee back to the Rascals.
It could happen, man. Dude, it very well could happen, but that's going to be exciting to see this week on NXT. But I don't know. I think ultimately Wes Lee will retain, but yeah, you never know, dude. It'll be fun to watch nonetheless. Ooh, baby. In the world of professional wrestling, there's so much going on, and I'm excited to talk about this. The 5-star Grand Prix in Stardom. Well, I'm not going to do a great job of explaining this, so why don't you check out this special sneak peek from our good friend Light Skin Gaijin talking about the 5-star Grand Prix.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Cole TV and PW60. I am the light-skinned Gaijin Denard Ramon. And Sunday, July 23rd marks the beginning of one of the most important tournaments in Stardom's history. Of course, I'm talking about the 5-star Grand Prix. And with this, I'm going to provide you with a 3-part series, a Learning the Ropes special, if you will. What I'm going to do is give you an introduction to what the tournament is and what it represents, a brief history of all the tournament's past winners. I will break down the digits of some of the most important facts of the tournament, as well as giving you a list of the participants involved in it. So with that said, let's learn the ropes about the 5-star Grand Prix. Just 1 year into the company's existence, Stardom would create a familiar tournament league, much like promotions in Japan had done before them. In the summer of 2012, Stardom would announce its inaugural 5-star Grand Prix. The tournament was inspired and formatted in the traditional style of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax. The tournament was designed to test a competitor's strength, determination, and will, to see just how far they are willing to dig to achieve victory and supremacy over their peers. But how is this tournament structured, and what exactly are the rules? Much like the G1, participants are split into two separate pools or blocks. Participants will face each other within their respective block in one-on-one matches. Block matches have either a 15 or 20-minute match duration. 2 points for every win, 1 for every tie. The Red Stars and Blue Stars block winners will meet each other in the finals, where the winner will receive a title match of their choice at the end of the year.
Well, that's just a little sneak peek because, folks, this is going to be a 3-part series coming to you here on Cole TV, and I got to tell you, we've watched it. It's phenomenal series that Light Skin Gaijin's put together. Like, it is so informative, and it's really like going to get you amped and ready for what's going to be an awesome, awesome tournament for Stardom. Cannot wait. So stay tuned here. Later this week, part 1 will drop here on Cole TV. Whoa, we had more shows this weekend too. B-roll, my God. GCW had a show Friday night, Now and Forever, from Melrose Ballroom in New York City. I watched this one myself. I got to tell you, it was an incredible night of action.
It was.
But the highlight of the night, Speedball Mike Bailey against Yoshika. Holy shit. Like, just the absurdity of it. It's not for everybody, I know, but like him recreating like the Kenny Omega Will Ospreay like last 5 minutes from Forbidden Door was fucking phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it's a sight to see. Like,
It is.
but you also got to see as well, like, Cousin Blake was in action and retained his GCW world title against Mao. And then Maki Ito was in action against Billy Starks. Was a great matchup. And then your main event was awesome too with Maya Yamashita against Lupista. But I'm telling you, dude, GCW is another one of those companies that's just running on all cylinders, and there's so much going on.
Because the triple threat, which was Gringo and Commander and
oh yeah, that too.
Aries, that was really good. Maki and Billy Starks.
Yeah, it was great, dude. It was great. And you got to see the Indie Taker there too. Matt Cardona as the Undertaker. It's hilarious. Overall, it was a great show. And like, you can catch a replay of it over on Fight Plus.
But Matt Cardona doesn't have the balls to take on Blue Cane.
It's book it. I need it now. I need that matchup. But like we cover here on PW60, there's so much going on in the world of professional wrestling. We got to give a shout out to everything that's going on in the indies. There's so many different shows. Let's go to our good, close, personal friend, Michael J. Duplessis, for the indie report for this week. And he highlights some indie shows to be on the lookout for.
What up, y'all? It's boy Michael with some more independent wrestling news from around the country. First off, we have at the Scott County Fair in Jordan, Minnesota. Minnesota Independent Wrestling presents Fight at the Fair 3. Saturday, July 29th. Bell time is at 3 p.m. You can start meeting wrestlers at 2:30. They're going to do a signing for like a half an hour. That is at 7151 190th Street West, again in Jordan, Minnesota. Northwest Pro Wrestling, August 12th at the Key Peninsula Civic Center at 17010 South Vaughn Road in Vaughn, Washington. $10 general admission. In Texas, Texas Indie Showcase 3, Saturday, July 22nd at a 7 p.m. bell time at Campbell Hall on 7601 Red Bluff Road in Pasadena, Texas. You can get your tickets there at newtexaspro.com. Defy Wrestling, Violent Minds, Washington Hall in Seattle, Washington, August 12th. Get your tickets there at defywrestling.com.
Yeah, man. And there is just so much going on in the world of independent wrestling, like we say, including this. It was announced this week that the indie god himself, Matt Cardona, is going to be going one-on-one with the ace himself, Hiroshi Tanahashi. What do you think on this one, Mr. B-Roll?
Honestly, I think it's interesting that he'll take on the ace, but he doesn't have the balls to face Blue Kane.
Oh, you went there. Maybe
Clip
we
it.
just
Clip it, send it to Cardona.
we need to
Put a
tag
bow
him,
on it.
tweet him every week, get him on what's the new thing on Instagram, Thrills or whatever.
The
Reels?
threads. The threads.
That's it. Get him on the threads. Get him everywhere. Because we need Matt Cardona against Blue Kane. I'm just saying, but this is going to be a fun matchup. So I think it's pretty cool for that Cardona is going to get this opportunity to go one-on-one against the Ace. Oh my gosh! Speaking of awesome matches, it was announced this week that Will Ospreay is going to get his dream matchup he's always wanted. He will go one-on-one with the man who inspired him to become a professional wrestler, the great Naomichi Marufuji. I know I just butchered his first name. I'm sorry, folks. But this matchup will take place September the 17th, and it will be part of Marufuji's anniversary show with Pro Wrestling Noah. But, dude, oh my gosh, this matchup, I am lactating thinking about. I'm not going to lie. What about you? Are you lactating?
I'm just.
You can tell the people.
I'm more of just thinking on like it's good to see like the whole with New Japan and Noah. Like it's very much a you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
I agree.
So
I agree.
It's best for professional wrestling, so I love it.
Man, Will Ospreay is going to be busy doing the G1 and then doing this and then presumably working all in. All things are pointing like that's going to happen. But
He'll be in the country.
yeah, so
He'll be in the
Rev
city.
Pro. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but this is going to be an awesome matchup. Now, this was a bit of a bummer. Not going to lie. They announced earlier this week that Mark Briscoe, due to injury, will not be able to challenge Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World Championship at the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view this upcoming Friday night. Not sure who they're going to get in his replacement, but damn it, I was ready to see Mark Briscoe be the one to dethrone Claudio. Finally win the Ring of Honor World Championship, which he deserves. So a little bit bummed about that, not going to lie, Mr. B-Roll. But
yeah, I'm not going to lie. And I'm with you. Like, I don't know who I could see replacing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
One name that comes to mind, and I don't know why, but Pac.
I don't know.
Just because it would be an interesting matchup.
Be an interesting matchup, but I mean they're teammates in Blood and Guts. I don't know how that would work. It'd be interesting, I suppose, and they've fought before, but I don't know. We'll find out soon enough who will be replacing Mark Briscoe. But we definitely here at PW60 wish Mark Briscoe a happy and healthy recovery, and we get to see him in the rings. Yeah, talk to me, Mr. B-Roll. LA Knight is just blowing up the internet this week as everybody is unearthing and finding all of this footage and stuff he shot, like when he literally was like working as an independent wrestler and out in Los Angeles, doing all these different commercials and whatnot. And I'm telling you what, I'm loving every bit of everything I've seen so far. Have you seen the one where he's like giving money to like he was helping an old lady across the road or something? He's giving money to like shoot her in the back or something. I don't even know what the fuck it is. It's completely out of context, but it's like okay.
No, I didn't see that one.
But it's
I
just
tried very hard to like find like a like multiverse picture, but I didn't.
Yeah, but it's cool to see LA Knight getting this moment, getting the shine that he so rightfully deserves. Speaking of a guy getting shine, man, how about Grayson Waller, man? Getting the rub against all of these major players, including The Rock. That's right. It appears Grayson Waller is in a little bit of a Twitter beef with the Great One himself. A little back and forth exchange this week. Of course, mocking The Rock about his entrance attire when he was Rocky Maivia. But I'm telling you what, there is some great things ahead for one Grayson Waller, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am too, my
Excited.
friend. I am too. And oh my gosh, the saga continues with Baron Corbin and Chef Reacts. But hey, let's go to our good friend Sienna, who has a special report on this saga that's been going on between Chef Reacts and Baron
Oh,
Corbin.
speaking of things you'll never have, how about tickets to SummerSlam? Because I'm going to be there while you're sitting at home playing with your scallops. Or maybe you might be there parking cars in the parking lot.
Well, y'all, it's happening. We're going to be getting a feud that's going to be taking place at SummerSlam. That is right. To start with, what's been going on with the feud between Chef Reaction and Baron Corbin. So Chef Reaction is one of the chefs who does like commentary videos reacting to very questionable cooking styles, of course, and he does rate them at the end. And last month, he did commentate to Baron Corbin's cooking video, and oh my god, such hilarity at best. And ever since then, they've been going back and forth on social media, starting off, of course, Instagram. Of course, Corbin did respond, and then Chef Reaction did clap back. Baron Corbin did release a cooking video a couple days later and give a clap back to Chef Reaction. Well, no, Chef Reaction said, hold my beer. He did commentate, react to his video, of course, on the date right here, and let me tell you, this feud has been one of a very enjoyable feud, like, from all of, like, you know, the social media celebrity realm of it, too. And what I enjoy most is, of course, their feud on Twitter, and especially, Chef Reaction did vouch to Carmelo Hayes, where, of course, Melo and Corbin did have a feud in NXT leading up to their match at Gold Rush, of course. I mean, what Melo said and Chef Reaction's response was so priceless. And of course, that Corbin did always respond back about Chef Reaction, and of course, Chef Reaction did respond back. And like I said, you know, this feud was pure entertaining at best. And he spoke his mind about Baron Corbin bringing back the lone wolf gimmick during his title match against Carmelo Hayes at NXT Gold Rush, of course. So yeah, this feud has been a month in the making after it been mentioned on the bump and whatnot. So Baron Corbin decided to imitate Chef Reaction by dressing up like him and doing a commentary style reacting to his own cooking video. But no, not even like, you know, an hour or so later, and that happened yesterday, Chef Reaction respond while holding the replica WWE Championship belt. And of course, it's happening, y'all. We're getting Chef Reaction versus Baron Corbin. So far, Baron Corbin has not responded to anything via social media, but hey, I'll keep y'all updated because this is pure entertaining, y'all.
I think we got a main event for SummerSlam, my friend.
Book
Well, hey, book it. Well, hey, let's talk about MLW Fusion from this past week as well. Of course, following up off of that huge event where our good close personal friend Alex Kane, won the MLW World Championship. Pretty fun show though, man. There was a great matchup for the number one contenders between Willie Mack, John Hennigan, and Leo Rush, which Willie Mack is now going to be the next challenger for Alex Kane. But speaking of Alex Kane, I thought this was really cool. Look at Alex Kane's list of where he wants to go from here. So Kojima wants to top out UFC Ho, make more money, dollar bill yields, a music video with Queen Latifah, yes. Obviously defeat Jacob Fatu, an Oprah interview, hell yeah. Shingo Takagi, of course, and the biggest thing here though, having the longest reign as the MLW champion. And bold prediction, I think he's going to. There, I said what I said. Also, this was interesting. Brian Pillman Jr. was spotted at the WWE Performance Center working out, and he's about to be a free agent. Bring in some Brian Pillman Jr. to WWE NXT. Hell yeah, dude. Or the WWE roster. Wherever he goes, like, I'm excited to see him, like, actually get used, because I think he kind of got the short end of the stick when he was with AEW, but it's one of those things. just so many different wrestlers there, and just couldn't find his
Yep.
niche, if you will. But dude, I'm telling you, this guy is so freaking talented, and he's going to be a future superstar in all professional wrestling. Oh, a little bit of controversy for Mr. Paul this week, though, wasn't there, Mr. B-Roll?
Too much caffeine.
It's apparently too much caffeine in the Prime energy drinks. Honestly, I don't give a shit because I hate energy drinks. The hydration drinks is where it's at for me personally. But he did kind of like debunk some of this, but I don't know. Like at the end of the day, Logan Paul, it's interesting. He does great in the ring, but I don't care for him as a human being. I'm going to be honest. So, this is interesting. So Jeff Hardy is going to be doing a concert for GCW. That's right. So GCW will be at Harpo's in Detroit, Michigan for their show, and immediately afterwards, Jeff Hardy's going to be putting on a concert. I don't know. Not
I think
once
this
again,
is,
another one not for me.
This is SummerSlam weekend.
It's SummerSlam
too.
weekend. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is. So, I don't know. I mean, cool. It's a cool thing to add to it, and the venue it makes sense. But like I say, I'm not a Jeff Hardy concert fan. Now, if it was if it was Fozzy, I'm there for it. Well, hey, this kind of was some good news in the right direction. We got a little bit of an update on one Thunder Rosa and her injury. Sounds like she's getting one step better slightly. Now, she's not like ready for an immediate return, but steps are going in the right direction. This is the first time we've heard that like her back is finally starting to kind of progress. I think they're going to reevaluate here in about the next 6 weeks or so, but fingers crossed we get Thunder Rosa returning to All Out. I'm just saying that would be pretty dope. Or All In. Or just Thunder Rosa in the ring again. Like that is what's best for business. And this is pretty cool too as well. Nikki Cross graduated this week, earning her master's degree in psychology. She did this all while like still being an active wrestler on the WWE roster, which I think is amazing, man. So kudos to her. We here at PW60 want to wish you a big old congratulations on getting that master's degree. Now, Mr. B-Roll, I'm excited for this. I know you know, being still the pro wrestling newbie, but one Lash LaRue, the Raging Cajun, will be making his wrestling return to GCW's Say You Will, which your boys are going to be there front and center. So I cannot wait to see one Lash LaRue make his return to professional wrestling. All right, it's that time of the week, Mr. B-Roll. Let's go to Brian with Brian's random moment of the week.
Riding off into the sunset. I'm not riding off into the sunset. I'm not giving up any time soon as far as Brian's House of Random. Hi, back on PW60, and yeah. So lately, we've been doing the series about factions. Build your ultimate factions, kind of like Red Lobster, your ultimate feast kind of thing. And I'm going to take a break from it this week. I'm going to bring it back next week. Probably already mentioned in this video, I'm very sure, one of my favorite times of the year in all of pro wrestling. You know, of course, WWE, you have WrestleMania season. New Japan Pro Wrestling, of course, around Wrestle Kingdom is always amazing. One of the other things I love about that is the G1 Climax in the summer. The biggest one, 32 competitors, 4 blocks, and normally I go top 5 format. So I'm going to go top 5 here with predictions, but what I want you to do, each of the 5, is this. Spots 1 through 4 on the list, and comment in the video and let us know. Spots 1 through 4 is who wins each block. So pick one, be A block winner. Who you think is going to win the A block, the B block, C block, D block. Then number 5 for this top 5 is who's going to be your overall winner. So is it going to be Will Ospreay? Is it going to be Okada again? Is it going to be Eddie Kingston? Surprise entrant? Who is it going to be? I want to know. We want to know. So comment below and let us know who you believe is going to win each of the respective blocks and who's then is going to be your overall winner. And tell us why. So enjoy your day whenever you watch this episode of PW60. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to all the content creators, including myself, on all platforms. Bye.
Thank you, Brian, for that random moment of the week. And I couldn't tell you who's going to win the G1. I got some favorites, but As always, here at PW60, we want to highlight our Wrestle Talk family, and we have to highlight the Ego Drip podcast. Are we kind of cheating on this one a little bit? Maybe, kind of, sort of. But this is Hambone and Khan and Lord Lovelace. They're doing their own podcast, and they just said that they're bringing it back.
Guess who's back? Back again. And you can catch them over on their socials every Sunday now. The Eagle Drip podcast is back, and we are so happy for you guys. Cannot wait to see what you got cooking next on Ego Drip. And hey, this week it was announced that The Undertaker is going to be doing a series of one-man shows, and one of them has to be in our neck of the woods. Maybe an early birthday present for Juan. Just saying, Mr. Beaver. But
It's in November, and my birthday's in November.
Well, okay, mine's in December, so like we'll figure it out. Like you get my ticket, I get yours. Then again, that doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But anyways, Undertaker's Dead Man show is coming to a city near you. And it was announced this week that the WWE will be returning to Saudi Arabia for a show in November, as can be expected. We don't know the name of the show, but they're going back to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I thought this was interesting, Mr. B-Roll. The Kenny Omega had an interview earlier this week where he was talking about how he wants All In and All Out to feel like two completely different shows. Now, you know my theory. And my theory I'll go ahead and express here for the first time on PW60. I truly believe All In is going to be mostly just Dynamite guys, and All Out is going to be mostly Collision wrestlers. I really think this is going to be the start of the brand split in AEW, but we'll find out soon enough. And finally, in a sad news, we lost another great wrestler, one Mike Halleck, aka Mantar, passed away. It's crazy too because I just talked to him like a week ago. He just literally just started getting on TikTok and interacting with people there, and it was cool to kind of see his journey and stuff. But unfortunately, he's left the world way too early. So we here at Pro Wrestling 60 want to wish our condolences to the family of one Mike Halleck. Well, Mr. B-Roll, we have done it again. We've come to the end of this incredible week of professional wrestling action. And guess what? We got so much more coming this week as well, including Blood and Guts and the Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. And who knows what else is going to happen this week. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. We'll see you here next week on another episode of Pro Wrestling 60. Let's go.